What's up guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video I'm going to be showing you the best way to get very high visibility and a lot of FPS on Warzone. So please make sure you leave a like and subscribe on today's video, and yeah, I really hope this helps you out. Moving on right into the Warzone settings. For the display mode, I have it on full screen borderless. Whatever monitor you have, mine is a Dell S2417DG, but most probably everyone has a different monitor. For the display adapter, put whatever graphics card you're using right now. For the screen refresh rate, put whatever your monitor can register. For the display resolution, I keep this on 2560x 1440p. Some of you may have 4K monitors or 1080p, so it's different for you guys maybe. Dynamic resolution, I keep this disabled. There's no point having it enabled. It just takes a lot of FPS and GPU temperature. For the aspect ratio, I have this on automatic. For the VSync, I have it disabled. If you have it enabled, well, yes, it may fix screen tearing. It takes a lot of FPS, so it's not worth it. For the custom frame rate limit, I have this on unlimited. You want to see how much your PC can really handle. For the brightness, I keep this on 60. I like seeing in darker shadows. For the display gamma, I keep this on 2.2 sRGB. The Nvidia highlights, I keep this disabled. And for the Nvidia reflex low latency, I keep this enabled, but it depends on your PC. Like some people may have enabled plus boost, or some people may have enabled. I like enabled, it just fits my PC best. Alright, moving on to the quality tab. For your field of view, I keep mine on 120. If you're on PC, you can change it. I recommend 120. Press advanced under field of view. You see 80 as field of view. I put this on affected. If you have it on independent and you switch to affected, it may take like a few hours or a few days to get used to affected. But once you get used to affected, it is so much better, trust me. For the camera movement, I keep this on the least, minus 50%. The reason I keep this on the least is so I get less screen shaking. If you keep it on the default, minus 100%, you're gonna get a lot of screen shaking whenever you're like parachute in, or there's an airstrike or someone grenades you. So keep this on the least. For the render resolution, I keep this on 100. If you make it lower than 100, it's going to look really pixelated, and it's just going to look terrible. For streaming quality, I tested this out earlier. When you keep your streaming quality on normal, you actually get more FPS than when you keep this on low. So keep it on normal. For texture resolution, I keep this on high. I tested it on low and normal. There's only like a 3 FPS difference, so just keep it on high. For the texture, filter, and estropic, I keep this on normal. It just looks best, in my opinion, and it's good for your FPS. For the particle quality, keep it on high. It actually gives you more FPS than when you keep this on low. So yeah, make sure it's on high. For the bullet impacts and spray, I keep this disabled. It doesn't change your performance at all. It's just your personal preference. For the tessellation, I keep this disabled. Like if you turn it on, it just changes all the angles and geometry or whatever. For the dismemberment and gore effects, again, personal preference. I like it enabled. For on-demand texture streaming, keep this off. If you have it on standard quality or high quality, it's going to take a lot of FPS. So basically what it does is when you're running around a map, it's constantly downloading more and more textures to make your game look better. And if you have this on, that's most likely why you're getting FPS drops and FPS spike. So keep this disabled. And still, after all of these settings, if you are still getting lag spikes, I recommend you restart your shaders, like completely reinstall it, because that can help. It's happened to me. I've done it and it works. For the filmic strengths, I keep this on 1. For the filmic grain, I have this on 0. I don't want it to look all grainy. For the Nvidia DLSS, I keep this disabled. If you have it on ultra performance, balanced, or quality, in the further ranges, when you have this on, it just looks so blurry. So there's no point having it on. For anti-aliasing, I have this off, because if you have it on the Filmic SMA T2X, now while your game may look a little bit better, it's a 25 FPS difference. 25 to 30 ranges from there. And also, even though the lines won't be so jagged with this on, it's just blurry, so I keep this off. For the depths of field, I have this disabled. World motion blur disabled. It just makes your game look terrible with it on. Weapon motion blur disabled. Shadow map resolution, I keep it on low. It gives a lot more FPS, and the difference isn't so significant. For the cache spot shadows, I keep this enabled. It's personal choice, but I like it enabled. It doesn't really affect your performance. For the cache sun shadows, I keep this enabled. Same thing with the cache spot shadows. It's personal choice. For the particle lighting, I keep this on low. If you have it on like normal, high, or ultra, it takes so much FPS. Like, you have to keep this on low. For the DirectX ray tracing, keep this off. It takes a lot of FPS, and there's really no point of ray tracing in an FPS shooter game. For ambient occlusion, I keep this disabled. For the screen space reflection SSR, I keep this disabled. So now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to search up Nvidia control panel, and then you're going to want to press on manage 3D settings. So for the image scaling, I have this off. For the ambient occlusion, I have this off. For the anisotropic filtering, I have this on 16x. Keep it on 16x because it doesn't affect your FPS, and it makes your game look so much better. For the anti-aliasing FX8A, keep this off. For the gamma correction, on. For the anti-aliasing mode, off. These I can't change, but like, keep it on none and off. For the background application max frame rate, keep this off. Just let it run as at max potential. Your CUDA GPUs, I guess all. DSR factors off. DSR smoothness off. Low latency mode, I keep this off. It takes some FPS. It might give you some less latency, but the FPS difference is big. Max frame rate, just keep it off. Let it go as unlimited. Monitor technology, fixed refresh. For the multi-frame sampled AA, MFAA, keep it off. For your OpenGL, rendering GPU, whatever your graphics card is. For power management mode, I have this prefer maximum performance. For the preferred refresh rate, keep this highest available, whatever your the highest your monitor can put. For your shader cache size driver default. For your texture filtering anisotropic sample option, keep this on. For the texture filtering negative LOD bias, I have it on clamp. For the texture filtering quality, have it on high performance. For the texture filtering trilinear optimization, I have this on. For the threaded optimization, I have it on. The triple buffering, I have this off. Vertical sync, I have this off. Like, it's basically VSync, just have it off. Virtual reality pre-rendered frames, I have this on 1. I tested all of these other ones. 1 is the best. And for the virtual reality variable rate super sample, I think that's what it says, I have this off. So those are all the manage 3D settings. So now I'm going to go over with all the other settings you're going to want on your Nvidia control panel. So go to adjust image settings with preview. I keep this on use the advanced 3D image settings. That's what I use. This doesn't really matter. Change resolution. Keep this on whatever resolution your monitor displays. Put your refresh rate as much as, again, your monitor can display. For the applied following settings, use Nvidia color settings. Put highest 32-bit, 8 BC or BPC. Keep the output dynamic range on full and the output color format on RGB. Also, make sure you apply all these settings. I forgot to say that earlier. For the adjust desktop color settings, this is what I use instead of my Nvidia game filters, because the Nvidia game filters actually takes away a lot of FPS. While you can just use the desktop color settings, it doesn't take as much FPS. It actually doesn't take any FPS. I tested it out, and it makes your game just look just as good. So make sure you have this override to reference mode off. Don't click on it. For the color channel, have it all channels. You want all the colors, like for these settings. For the brightness, have this on 45%. For the contrast, I have this on 55%. For the gamma, I have this on 1. For the digital vibrance, every monitor is different. I keep this on 100. Well, actually, I'm going to keep this on 90. But everyone's monitor is just a little bit different. Some might have HDR toning, some might not, some might have different colors. Put whatever vibrance you like. And for the hue, or HUE, I have this on 0%. These colors look best on Fortune's Keep and Caldera, but there are only some parts on Rebirth Island that don't look great, but most of it looks amazing. So those are the desktop color settings. For the rotate display, I have this on landscape. This is not important. Wait, what? Okay. This not important, I don't think. Have this on no scaling. Make sure perform scaling on GPU. Have this off, do not click on this. For the resolution, make sure it's the resolution your monitor uses, and make sure it's the highest refresh rate possible. The G-Sync, I don't have this enabled. If you have like a really high hertz monitor and you're getting really low FPS, keep it on. It makes your game look much smoother. But if you're getting like more FPS than your monitor can even like register, or you're getting just about it, keep this off. It gives a lot of latency and lag. For the setup multiple devices, I have one monitor. If you have multiple, you can just set it up. For the video colors, I have, I guess, the brightness on 50%, contrast on 50, hue 179, and the saturation 50%. These are my defaults, I don't know. For the gamma, just keep it default. For the advanced, make sure you have the dynamic range on full 0 to 255. And for this doesn't look important. So those are all the Nvidia control panel settings. Moving on to the Windows settings, make sure you press Documents, press Call of Duty Modern Warfare, press Players, press ADV_options. Make sure this is version 1. Don't change the version, don't change this number. Make sure your video memory scale is 0.85. Make sure the config cloud storage enabled is 1. And for the render worker count, this is the amount. Put this to the amount of cores your CPU has. And if you do not know how many cores you have, right click your taskbar, press Task Manager, press Performance, click on CPU, and right here it says cores. I have 10, depending how many you have. If you have like 6, type in 6. If you have 10, type in 10. So even though I am not a keyboard and mouse player anymore, I used to be a keyboard and mouse player. That's why I know the settings. I only recently switched to controller. But if you are playing on keyboard and mouse, search up mouse settings, just like this. Press enter, this thing should come up. Press additional mouse options. This little thing should come up, mouse properties. Press pointer options. Automatically, it will come with enhanced pointer precision. Turn this off, uncheck it. If you leave this on, it will be so hard to master your mouse sensitivity. It's just almost impossible. And then press apply. Should take a little bit to load, and then press OK. So that's going to be it for today's video. Please make sure you leave a like and subscribe if this video helped you. Please comment down if this helped you. Just comment down. Thanks for the settings. And yeah, have an awesome day. Peace.